it was fine till the 50s because there was no technology,
Right.
only people.
Yes.
And the Indian healthcare was the government and the social sector. They were doing well because all that they wanted was people. But when the technology came in, they couldn't invest.
Right.
So we fell behind for the 10 years. So this is where in the 60s, 60s and 70s, gradually the healthcare standards came down. They couldn't adapt the technology that was easily available.
Right.
This is where, and then healthcare was treated as no entity.
Correct.
Hotels could get advances and treated as industry. Airlines and is treated as industry.
Industry by
Everything was the industry, but healthcare considered as not even a cigarette wala, beedi wala.
Right.
He will get a loan from bank, but a hospital couldn't get better loan than. This is where I realized what is needed is for the government to understand and to give a recognition for healthcare to enable us to build this.
How did you make that happen, sir? Because that is a time when India was. I don't think it was. They were, as a country, we were ready for taking this step because government always felt that healthcare was something which was a responsibility of the government.
Okay.
But how did you make this change happen?
I think it's good question, but I was only instrument in the hands of Indian healthcare destiny. When I wanted this, then they said only places in Delhi which can do this. Delhi, I visited Delhi as a student, when I was in the college.
Yes, sir.
As a visitor. This time I wanted to go to see how I can get recognition for healthcare to get loans and treated on par. So I got onto the plane with I don't know whom to meet, but I went back. I said I will see what I can do to see, because in Delhi, to make them understand that this is very necessary for our people, our country and our people, and for their health and welfare. Healthcare should play an equal role. So I went there. Fortunately, I met Mr. Mupanar. He was our General Secretary of Congress, and Mr. Rao from Hyderabad, who two General Secretaries. So they told me, you come with me tomorrow to the darshan with Madam. So 6 o'clock I went there. 6:15 we were at the PM's residence. 6:30 she came, and they just introduced me. This is Prathap Reddy, who has come back from America. She nodded and went off. Second day she came and saw me. Third day when she said, he has come again. I said, Madam, there are only few people, a small percentage of people who are rich and powerful who can get health care, but other people can't get it, and you must do something about it. She hardly listened, completely went off. The next day, I said, she came, oh, you want to meet me, is it? I said, I would like to explain, saying the importance of how Indian healthcare can improve for our people. So she nodded her head, and then R.K. Daman, who was the secretary, he said, you meet her at 11 o'clock today. So I went there and I poured out, saying, this is what it is. I've come back from US, they're doing ordinary things extraordinarily well, and most difficult things, they're doing ordinarily well. I think, and there are Indians who are participating, and I was there, and I could do as good as anybody else. I think what is needed is to give a recognition for healthcare, like what you have done for all other things. So she heard about it. Then immediately she called Krishna Rao Sahib, who was the private secretary to her.
Right.
And he played a great role. He listened to me for 2 hours, the whole story of what it is and what we can do. He called the health secretary immediately and told the health secretary, you listen to him, bring a recommendation by the cabinet on Friday. So I went to him. He recommended, saying that the duty on health, any of the medical equipment, was 300%, treated as a luxury item.
Okay.
So he made it as a zero, and then some amount of patients would treat free to compensate for that. I finally agreed for that. Then he referred, Krishna referred to the finance minister. Mr. Venkatraman, who later became the president, he was the finance minister. He listened to me, and I have also known him because I have treated his brother at my private hospital before. So I knew him, so he was very considerate. He listened to the whole thing. I said, we must do something about it. So he consulted his secretaries and all that. They said, it's very difficult, you must pass a law, change the thing. Then they appointed IDBI. IDBI said, it's a very unique thing, we would like to fund it. And then Venkataraman was very happy. But down the line, one of the joint secretaries wrote down saying, this is not allowed. If our institutions fund healthcare, we will be liable for impeachment. It is not in that act.
Okay.
So he was very disappointed. And for me, very fortunately, Pranab Mukherjee became the finance minister. Pranab Mukherjee previously is helping me to give cement at government rate and steel at government rate.
Right.
So when he came with I told him, I said, no, my whole project, I have no funding. I started. So he immediately called the Secretary of Finance and told him, if you don't do this, you're going to prove that I'm not useful finance minister
Finance
of India.
minister.
And then he said, what's that? He said, if this is very sweet to the Prime Minister. He'll go to the Prime Minister and she'll sanction it. The Secretary grabbed my hand, took me to his room, and then wrote down, 6 banks will fund you 5 crores each. And then you can get your foreign exchange loan through one of the private equity foreign exchange. So that is the final thing. So we came back, and then the bank funded me 30 crores as a syndicate bank. Was and Indian Overseas Bank was the chairman of the group of 6 people.
Right.
And then one of the foreign loans I obtained. And things went on, of course. So I had problems with the local chief minister also, because they wanted that land to be given back.
Okay.
So anyway, I circumvented on it after 2 years, all problems I had. But finally, I think after all of this, September 18, 1983 is a landmark day for Indian healthcare.
Right.
Because that is the day when late President Jail Singh inaugurated Apollo. Actually, he had only 30 minutes program. Because he was very busy. He came to inaugurate the centenary of some ceremony in IIT.
Right.
He came for that. So his program was where he came. But he stayed 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because he went to the hospital, because he was one of those who had by dental his heart surgery.
Correct.
He went on saying, oh, is that high, Houston man, I have Houston. Like that, he went on visiting the hospital itself 40 minutes. Then he came to the stage, he threw the speech off and spoke brilliantly well.
Extempore.
And then talked to people. I was so happy. I think that's marks, his blessing on that day. It's like a divine speech he gave.
Lovely.
And that's marked. Then I think it is 7,500 people I had that day when
you inaugurated.
750 people I had on that day when I inaugurated. It's a simple theory saying that we must all here to give best of our efforts to see that whatever challenge that we have, we know we can do it.
Right.
I said, and then touching lives is what I told them that day.